Hey, this is Nathan with the Cornfed Coverage, and this is
Michael.
And this is Chase. We're going to get into a big weekend of football here. We got the college football playoffs Thursday, Friday, 7 NFL wildcard games, including me and Michael going 1v1 against each other this weekend. We're going to look back at the Las Vegas Bowl that Nebraska took on against Utah. I guess I'll start here. It wasn't our best game. Watching the first quarter, I was really impressed with our offensive line. I remember texting Michael and Nathan being like, this offensive line looks different. We got that new O-line coach in there. Our offense was looking good for a quarter. They were really taking it to Utah before they kind of decided, we can put 8 to 9 guys on the line of scrimmage, stop their run game, force TJ to beat us in the air, and he wasn't able to do that. But I don't really put this game on our offense anyway. I thought they played okay in the first half, but we were just too far down then because our defense didn't get a stop all game, really. They just went up and down the field. Duvenpair, I'm probably saying his name wrong, but
Dampier.
He looked great. Running, throwing. When it was still a game and they had that 3rd and goal at the 20 yards back, and if we could have stopped them there, it would have been like 17-14, but they get that touchdown, go up 7. I think we have 2 3-and-outs in a row after that, and they were just scoring touchdowns. Tough game for us. Hopefully we got some good practice in though there, and our seniors got to have a fun bowl game or whatever. But it's on to the off season now, and Matt Rule's got his work laid out for him. The portal's on its way right now. But yeah, what do you think of the game, Nathan?
I agree with you. Dampier looked awesome. Hats off to him, and hats off to the whole Utah coaching staff for being able to come together and rally the guys, make adjustments after the first quarter, because our offense gave up 3 sacks after that and just couldn't get a whole lot going. But the game was kind of just lost at that point. I think that it just kind of showed everybody that we have a lot to fix before the 26 season starts. The defense was hard to find all game long. We didn't have an answer for their quarterback. He had, I think, over 130 yards on the ground. And wide receivers on offense looked like they just couldn't get any separation after the first quarter either. So that's not going to help TJ. And I also don't think that the loss is solely on the offense either, or the defense. I think it's a two-handed effort. But also, coaching staff, we got to be able to adjust, make something, have somebody make a play. We can't keep getting burned in the secondary either. So, I'm just hopeful for the off season. We can talk about the transfer portal a little bit later and the findings that we've heard over the last couple of days. But what about you, Michael?
We got a lot to hand to do us for the majority of the game.
Yeah.
I was the lone predictor that Utah was going to win by 21 on our pod as well. So I kind of saw it coming. I hoped they would have put up a fight, and they did. Their first 2 drives, and then they laid down, and Utah just kept on going and made the adjustments they needed to before halftime to stop the run game, because that's all they figured out that we could do. We couldn't really pass the ball. TJ looked just scared and not himself in the pocket. Utah scored 30 unanswered points, and that started mid-second quarter. So just kind of brutal. Looked a lot like Penn State and Iowa game too, just the way our defense was just getting dog walked across the field. Clearly there's a lot that needs to be addressed, and like you said, we'll talk about the transfer portal later, but all in all, I just hope the boys remember what it feels like and can carry that into next year and battle back for a gauntlet of a schedule because they're going to need to.
Yeah.
But
Well, with that, let's go ahead and Michael, why don't you go ahead and start us off with how your playoff picks landed after last week?
altogether, I did pretty well. I suggested that Ole Miss was going to win, and they wound up doing that. Um, and then I was right on Oregon. I was right on Indiana. So all in all, not bad. But I definitely could have done better because I was wrong on the Miami Ohio State. I had Ohio State winning. Um, so and then yeah, so I went 3-1. Not terrible. Indiana looked unstoppable. Um, especially against Bama, they just looked like they couldn't do anything. Um, Oregon's defense looked stellar against Texas Tech. That
Lights
was
out.
fun to watch. They literally pitched a shutout, so that was fun to watch. Um, Ole Miss beating Georgia, that was just in general crazy fun game to watch.
That was probably the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, there was a total of 74 points, 75 points scored. So super high scoring, which I mean that's what you get when you put Georgia and Ole Miss against each other for everything that's on the line. And then I was gonna say the Big Ten had 3 teams in the semis, but unfortunately Ryan Day couldn't get the monkey off his back and carry his team back to back or to a back to back natty. Um, Miami just looked phenomenal. They pitched a shutout in the first half, and then Ohio State's offense just didn't look like itself, honestly. But what about you, Chase? How'd you do?
Yeah, I went 2-2 with my picks. I feel like the games that I got right, I really got right. And the games I got wrong, I really got wrong. In Ohio State, Miami, not only did I think Ohio State was going to win, I thought they were going to cover their 8.5. But Miami O line and D line kind of just overwhelmed Ohio State, especially that D line is something else that they got. Thought Ohio State would get some bigger plays. Um, they would hit. I can't think of their really good receiver, Jeremiah, a couple
Jeremiah
times.
Smith.
hmm but yeah, it just wasn't enough. They couldn't close. They threw that pick six when they were driving there right before half, and that kind of was the difference in the game. You take that away, it's damn near a 10-point swing. So, yeah, tough game. Ohio State could have won, but hats off to Miami. People thought they might not even should have made it, and they're favored in their next game to go to the Natty. So, big on Miami. The next game was Oregon, Texas Tech. I chose Oregon when the bracket came out to win the Natty, so of course I was on them again against Texas Tech. They looked great. Dante Moore made some high level throws, and their defense just has speed and players all over the place. And Dan Lanning's got the boys hyped. Great game by Oregon, and maybe Texas Tech just kind of feasted on Big 12 teams because their offense couldn't do anything once they got Big Ten defense. And then Indiana, Bama. I liked the Bama +7. I did think Indiana was going to win, but I thought Alabama was going to keep that game close. Nope, it was over right away. Signetti and Mendoza are rolling. And then the night game, like Michael said, was a great game. Kind of a Chimbalis. I can't pronounce names, but
Chambly.
yeah, it kind of is coming out. He looked great. I know Mendoza won the Heisman, but I think he looks like the best quarterback out there. I don't know if it's really going to necessarily translate to the NFL like Mendoza's game, but I think he's great for Ole Miss. He makes high-level throws. He can run. And Ole Miss's offense with Lacey also at running back, they may have enough firepower to take down Miami. We'll see. So, yeah, overall, good weekend.
See, and I'm on the opposite end of you guys. I went 2-3 this weekend. So I called the Indiana game wrong, I called Oregon wrong, and I called Ole Miss wrong. Um, but I did get Miami right, and Montana State is your FCS national champion.
That was a
So,
fun game to watch.
Yeah, the
yeah,
extra point that won it for
that
them.
was ooh, that was kind of scary. I was like, oh, come on, give me another
Illinois,
win.
Illinois State, their kicker was going through it.
Yeah, I bet.
But
I can feel for each other.
Yeah, especially in a OT thriller like that.
yeah. But I was really surprised by Indiana this weekend just because that was a show of force against Alabama right
They
there.
kind of look like how Bama used to look when they would dominate other good teams.
Are they the new Bama now? We'll see if they can get it done. But I think that Miami upsetting Ohio State was the game that surprised me the most. I was on Miami points, but I did not expect them to win outright. But that D line, like you were saying, is just ferocious. So overall, pretty exciting game. It ended exciting, but it was kind of boring with Oregon whomping Tech and then the Bama game. But with that, let's go ahead and get into the college football playoff predictions for this weekend. We have Ole Miss against Miami and Indiana versus Oregon. I'll go ahead and start, and I like Ole Miss +3 against Miami. I don't know what it is, but Chambly looked incredible against Georgia, and I think the Georgia defense is a little bit better than Miami's. Just all around, Miami's D-line is probably the best in the country. But in the other game, I have Oregon +4 against Signetti. It's hard to beat the same team twice in the same year. I understand that Indiana won in Oregon, so that is no easy thing to do. But I do think Indiana wins the game, but I think that Oregon's going to keep it a 3-point game at least, just because that defense looks so good against Texas Tech. Maybe, I agree with you. Maybe they're not as good as some of the other teams out there just because they beat up on the Big 12 all year. But that's not to say that the Big 12 doesn't have solid teams. BYU and Tech are solid. They just didn't perform well when it mattered most against the best teams they played all season. But what about you, Chase?
Yeah, I'll start with Oregon, Indiana. I'm not super confident, I will say that, but I'm going to go with Oregon. I think they're going to win this game. I really do like Dante Moore. I think he's a really good. He's probably going to be the second quarterback taken after Indiana's quarterback, so that doesn't really help my point. But I think Dan Lanning's going to get the boys ready in a revenge spot. They lost to them in Oregon. They were kind of manhandled a little bit. I just think last year when it was Oregon-Ohio State and Oregon won that emotional game in the regular season, and then by the time they got to the playoffs, they were undefeated, but I felt they were kind of out of gas. And they played Ohio State again, and Ohio State killed them. This year, I think they kind of did the opposite. They played Indiana. It was like end of September, early October, lost by a touchdown. But I think they're starting to peak now at the end of the season, where last year they were kind of peaking early. And I don't know. I just feel like they're going to get it done. It's hard because Indiana just looks so dominant. They killed Bama. I know Oregon killed Texas Tech too, but I feel like Indiana's was a little just more impressive, and it's just this Bama team that has been super dominant and has all these five-star players. But yeah, I think Dante Moore, Dan Lanning are going to get it done against Indiana. And then to the Ole Miss Miami game, I keep going back and forth. I really love Chambers for Ole Miss. I think he's great, and I love Lacey. I love their offense. But I don't know. What I've been hearing about how Lane Kiffin might want some of the coaches back, and they might not even be there for the game. And just the way Miami's O-line.
Don't buy into it. Don't buy into it, Chase.
I don't have a pick against the spread, but I think Miami's going to win this game. Defense wins championships. I think Carson Beck will be able to move the ball enough against Ole Miss. I think they'll be able to run the ball with their running back. And I think Miami's going to get a couple stops against Ole Miss's offense with their D-line. I'll take Miami in a close game. But to be honest, I'm not confident in either game. I definitely could see Indiana beating Oregon for sure. And I could see Ole Miss pulling off the upset against Miami, but got to roll with my national championship pick going into the bracket, Oregon, and I think Miami's going to beat Ole Miss this weekend. What about you, Michael?
Indiana's going to win it straight up against Oregon. And I'm obviously a money line person, so I don't really mess around with the spreads. So Miami's going to win it straight out as well for an Indiana-Miami national championship game. But I do see them both being close games, like within one possession, whether that be 3 or 7. Like Nathan said, it's not easy to beat a team twice. Even though you did beat them at their home turf, still doesn't make it easy because now you're on a neutral site. So, but we all know Signetti. They just got done beating up on a Bama team that obviously not a lot of people had them predicted to win the Natty, but they were dangerous. So they won decidingly. So depending on how the whole Dan Lanning versus Signetti goes for round 2, maybe Lanning's better than DeBoer. Maybe Oregon's better than Bama. So you never know. But I think Mendoza's going to just be productive like he's always been. He just looks content in the pocket when he's throwing the ball. But that Oregon defense is something else. They got speedsters all around the corners and safeties. So, and then that Miami Ole Miss game is just, honestly, I think it's going to be more like that Miami Ohio State game. I don't know if it's really going to be that high scoring considering Miami holding Ohio State's offense with potentially the best wide receiver in college football at the helm. So
yeah, maybe the second best wide receiver even too, also on their team.
Literally. So Miami last year said, we have a bad defense. We know and acknowledge this, and they went out and did the thing that they needed to do to be playoff worthy. And now they're showing it off to everybody. So it's going to be an interesting college football weekend for sure. It's going to be fun to watch.
Who knows? Maybe Ole Miss is going to win a Natty without Lane Kiffin. And he left LSU to win a Natty. And this Ole Miss team might have been the closest that he could have got to win a Natty. Like, they're one game away from being in the national championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, Golding has the boys playing well.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for NFL, though, if I'm being honest.
But before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more Husker news. So, the men's basketball team is the 10th ranked team in the country.
Crazy.
And this is the first time in 60 years that we have been ranked this highly.
1966 was the last time we were ranked this high. No. I have a coworker that was alive when we were ranked this high.
Oh, wow. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't see this.
He said he got to see it.
I did not see this coming. Like, I feel like with Hoiberg, we've gotten better, and we've been a decent team the last couple of years. But was I expecting to start 15-0, beating Illinois was like top 15, top 10 at the time that we beat them in Illinois, and then we just beat a top 10 Michigan State team. Like, we're rolling, and I don't know when it's going to stop right now. I'm excited for Husker hoops. Like, I just get excited for every game, so it's been a fun season.
We do have 5 quad 1 wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Only other D1 college team is Duke right now with 5.
We basically almost locked a March Madness spot.
We're pretty close. We do have a tough road test at Indiana coming up Saturday, though. So
we could be like a 2 or 3 seed in the March Madness tournament, and we've never won a March Madness game. ever
No.
in the history of our program. So just winning one game would be the greatest season.
Monumental.
Who remembers us getting? We were the 3 seed back in the early days,
Oh, really?
and we got blown out, or we lost. We got upset by 14.
That's tough.
That would suck.
I would
That would
not
suck.
want to do that again. But
I did
Braden
see.
Frager is Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Sorry to cut you off there, Mikey. So
No, you're
I think
okay.
that Lincoln native, he's balling out. I think that he looks great.
I was just about to say that Nebraska's getting predicted to play down in OKC for March Madness currently
Not
for
terribly
Midwest. I was like, I could make the drive. That would be really cool to see Nebraska's first ever March Madness win down there.
Yeah.
But Brendan Frager is developing right in front of our eyes. I mean, he looked a lot better than he did against Michigan State, you know? He didn't commit, he didn't get teed up at all like he did against Michigan State too, especially in that environment and close of a game. Like, I was telling Chastity that I was surprised that in back-to-back games it came down to free throws, because we made ours when we needed to against Ohio State to go up 2 possessions, and then Michigan State missed the one that they needed to make to tie us up and beat it. So I just think back-to-back close games like that, tough teams win when it's that close, you know.
But shooting down the stretch, you got to get those free baskets when you're.
We were also down against Ohio State a little bit.
Yeah, we had the lead.
We blew a couple leads.
We had the lead like almost the whole game, and they fought back, and they finally took a lead with maybe like 5 minutes to go or so. But then we got it back, and like you said, we closed with making those crucial free throws to put us up a couple possessions. They couldn't make a last-second 3 or anything.
We'll see. We're underdogs against Indiana this weekend too.
Are we? Is it at Indiana? Or?
Yeah.
Road trip.
Be a fun one on Saturday.
But in other Husker news, I do believe that we might have spoke on this recently, but Kenny Minchie, he's no longer committed to the Huskers. I do believe that we are getting Anthony Calandria from UNLV.
He did, in fact, sign
previously. But also, there were 2 Husker players that withdrew from the portal, 2 young defensive backs. We got Larry Tarver Jr. back and Braylon Prude. Prude was a redshirt freshman, so I don't think that they saw the field a whole lot. But I think the fact that we can retain young talent and keep them in-house, that's huge. But we'll see if they can make an impact. But so far, we're at 7 portal additions. Honestly, I'm tired of talking portal. I'd rather just kind of wait till we see what the product looks like on the field. But what do you guys think about that?
I think Anthony will be good for us. From what I watched a little bit of UNLV, I thought he was a playmaker. He's a dual threat guy. So I kind of think that's what Rule and wants to bring in. So I'm excited to see him. And Kenny gave us the middle finger leaving last second, but so
went to Kentucky.
Not cheer for him much at Kentucky. But I'm all in on Anthony. We'll bring him in. I'm sure there'll be a QB battle against TJ, but I'm assuming Anthony will probably be the starter next season.
Well, yeah, and we also got 3 linebackers in the portal along with the safety.
Did we get an O-lineman too, maybe?
We got 3 O-linemen. Yeah. We got Brandon Black from Iowa State. We got South Carolina. Yeah, from South Carolina. And then there was another one on top. Just can't remember from where. But it seems as though we're adding pieces that we desperately need, and I'm happy they adjusted the linebacker core just because we were kind of struggling in that department. And I didn't really know who we would have coming back, especially since that defense was pretty old. But outside of that, like Nathan said, I can't wait for the portal to be closed so we know who's on the team, who's committed to Nebraska, and trying to achieve something better come next year. So,
I agree.
another thing that is worth noting, Nebraska volleyball had 0 players enter the transfer portal. They do have one more transfer portal opening at the beginning of May for like 2 weeks. But for the time being, zero players left for volleyball, and I think that's really cool. Nobody wants to leave the team, so
It's
that
great
just
for
shows
DBK.
camaraderie. Yeah, DBK gets to keep the same squad, and fingers crossed, try and run it back for a little revenge tour, to say the least. So, what did you guys have? Did we get any portal? Did anyone come into the program? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I didn't see anything about it, but yeah, I
I
just
know that
thought
we
that
have
was
a pretty decent class coming in for 2026. But who knows? We'll see how everything transpires throughout the off season for all sports, and hopefully the Husker men can keep it going, and the Husker women keep building steam. But with that, do you guys want to go ahead and get into the NFL review from last week? Michael, how did your games go?
I was dead money on Patriots money line. Absolutely murdered the Dolphins, just like I thought we would. And then outside of that, I can't really remember my second pick, but I didn't care. I'm just happy the Patriots won, secured the 2 seed, and yeah, I'm ready for the playoffs. First time since 2021 the Patriots have been in the playoffs. So, y'all had 5 years. Y'all had 5 years without us. Now we're back. But what about you, Chase?
I had a good read on the NFL this last week. Went 2-0. Sorry to Nathan, one of my picks was Seattle over the 49ers. I did not see the 49ers only scoring 3 points, but part of my read was that the 49ers have been scoring all these points, but they've kind of been playing Colts, bad defense, the Bears, bad defense. So I was just like, they're going to be up against a team that's going to be able to get some stops against them. Held them to 3 points. Not the best showing for the 49ers offense, and Seattle clinches the 1 seed. Easiest path to the Super Bowl in the NFC. Someone's going to have to beat Seattle in Seattle to make it to the Super Bowl in the NFC. Then my other pick was Lions plus 2.5 against the Bears. They won outright. I kind of thought that Dan Campbell was going to get the boys ready. Won last week. They're out of the playoffs. They're playing for absolutely nothing. But Dan Campbell's not going to let them go out there and lay an egg there last week. They were going to fight hard. And like I kind of just said earlier, the Bears defense is not very good. So I kind of figured the Lions would be able to move the ball, and they won a close game against the Bears. And we're on to the playoffs now. The regular season's over. How'd your Week 18 picks go, Nathan?
0-2. Trey Lance wasn't able to get it done against the Broncos. He looked pretty rough. So maybe it's just time to get into coaching, young man.
He's 25.
Yeah, he's younger than me. But in the other game, the Niners losing to the Seahawks, kind of brutal. Defense just suffocated us all game. Christian McCaffrey had a once-in-a-season interception off that tip pass. But kind of like what you guys were reiterating, it's on to the playoffs. We've got a game in Philadelphia this weekend. It's not going to be easy. But honestly, for the playoffs, I'd rather have the battle tested route because that's what we've been doing all season. We've ran into landmines. Our defense is playing half strength. You know, I'd rather get the toughest tests out of the way sooner rather than later. But let's go ahead and get right into the playoffs this coming week then. Chase, do you want to go ahead and start us out?
Yeah. So the first game Saturday. I guess I'll just go in order of the games. Rams Panthers. I don't know if I have too much to say about it. I think the Rams are going to win easy. I don't know if they'll cover their spread, but Matthew Stafford, Puka. I think Devontae Adams is back from injury now. I think their offense is going to be too much. Bryce Young, he's not going to be able to get it done. He may be able to put up some points against this Rams defense, but I think this is Rams all day. Saturday night, Bears-Packers. I think the atmosphere is going to be crazy in Chicago. They haven't hosted a playoff game in a long time. The city is yearning for it. But give me the Packers. Packers always beat the Bears when it matters the most. They have not looked good the last couple of weeks, but I don't think they've been trying for a couple of weeks because they kind of figured they've gotten the 7th seed. Jordan Love will be back. Josh Jacobs has been rested. They are without Micah Parsons and do have a lot of injuries on the defense, but I don't think the Bears are that good for some reason. I think they keep getting lucky. The last time the Bears and Packers played, the Packers won that game. They dominated 95% of the game, and if they recover an onside kick, they beat the Bears. I just feel like this is Packers. Jaguars, Bills, hard game for me to choose. The Jaguars were the team I wanted to play the least in the first round for the Chargers. They killed us earlier. They went into Denver and beat the Broncos by 14 also. But then the Bills have Josh Allen. So I don't know what to do. And it seems weird that I could choose the Jaguars of all teams to eliminate Josh Allen in the first round. So I'm going to roll with the Bills. I think they're going to get it done in Jacksonville in a really close, competitive game. Next game, 49ers-Eagles. Kind of an interesting game. The 49ers are so many injuries on their defense, but the Eagles' offense just is weird every single week. But are the 49ers going to be able to score on this Eagles defense after what I saw them do against Seattle? I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. Skip over Chargers, Pats. Texans, Steelers.
Feel the anticipation.
Go back and forth on this game too. I could change my opinion on some of these games by the time kickoff is. I think I'm going to go with the Steelers. I could be wrong, but I think I've heard they've never lost on Monday Night Football. I think the Texans' offense isn't good. Their defense is great. But I think some of their pass rush could be limited by Aaron Rodgers just loves the quick passes, get the ball out of his hands right away. So maybe the Houston's pass rush won't be really able to get them. And I don't know. Steelers Magic, Monday Night Football. They haven't won a playoff game in forever. They're probably due. Aaron Rodgers gets one more win in him. In the main event, Sunday Night Football, Chargers, Patriots, me versus Michael, Justin Herbert number 10, Drake May number 10. Chargers going to win this game. Our defense is so underrated. No one talks.
That's not happening, Chase.
We got Derwin James, the tight end eraser. The Patriots are the number one team in running routes with 2 tight ends. Hunter Henry is not going to do shit against Derwin James. He's been on the Chargers before. We'll lock him down. I think quarterbacks in their first playoff starts are like 20 and 40 all time. They just lose. They're not going to be used to this playoff speed. I know Justin Herbert's 0-2 in the playoffs, but he has been there. This will be his 3rd start. Patriots are well coached. Chargers are well coached. I think We're 5-0 in primetime too, by the way. I think Herbert has a dog of more than 3.5 points. It's 13-2 against the spread, by the way. He is a cover machine. It's a long-time winner. Herbert as a dog. Chargers win outright in Foxborough. Our first playoff win since 2018. Patriots and their low schedule get bounced as frauds round 1. And I'm sorry, Michael. I'll be cordial during the game, but we're going to win.
That is not happening, Chase. Just you wait till Justin Herbert meets Milton Williams and Christian Barmore in the trenches. Wait till your O-line doesn't know what to do with them.
The O-line's a worry. Marion Hampton's a worry. He's not practicing right now.
You guys, your O-line stinks against blitzers or anything of that such. And you know Mike Vrabel is a defensive-minded coach, and he's going to send the house. Make Justin Herbert pay every snap of that
and
game.
That's why he's going to go over top to Keenan Allen for long bombs.
Send that house. We'll hit Ladd on a slant, QJ on a screen.
You think Ladd and QJ are getting past Christian Gonzalez and Marcus Jones? Because that's not happening.
Gonzalez can only cover one at a time.
Unless we're playing zone.
I guess. One at a time.
Can only be in one spot.
Play.
No. That's
I
happening.
will say, when I think about ways that the Chargers could lose this game, is we have given up some deep throws. And Drake May is, if not the best, one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL. I think if we don't let you guys hit a big 50-yard pass or something, though, that will limit you guys on offense. I'm not really scared of your guys' run attack. I was looking through a bunch of box scores. In some big games, you guys have not been able to run the ball that good. You do have some games like against Tampa, Henderson went off. But I think we'll be able to stop the run. Drake May might get his here and there, but I think we'll be able to limit him too, and I hope he's nervous in his first playoff game. I don't know Drake May's mentals, but I hope he gets rattled.
I think he's going to feel just at home with playing at Gillette. I think he's going to feel phenomenal. He's going to be like Jameis. You know that meme where he's like, we get to play football today in the snow? And I think that's going to be Drake May's attitude entering that game. I think he's going to be feeling no pressure. And he's just going to play calm, cool, and collected like he has all season. I will say the thing that scares me is turnovers. Because the Patriots, albeit have a really good record, the games we lose the turnover battle. So that's something they need to control in the game. Because if we start fumbling the ball 2 or 3 times, it's going to start feeling like the goddamn Steelers game or the Raiders game. Because Ramondre wound up having a fumble issue. But it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. I definitely could see the Chargers covering the 3.5, but they're not winning outright. I'm sorry, but it's not happening. Drake, we're too good. Our defense is pretty stout, okay?
Against piss poor teams.
Yeah, and now we get to play Justin Herbert. Are you going to call the Chargers a piss poor team if we beat them?
No, but you can't tell me that you guys consistently play good teams when their winning percentage is less than 3.9.
The New England Patriots can't do anything about their goddamn schedule. You just have to go out there and play it.
I don't think the Raiders a team with a good defense like us and a good quarterback.
You guys lost to the Raiders.
Browns,
Michael,
who have a good defense but a bad quarterback, and you played the Bills, who have a good quarterback but a bad defense. Now we got the
lost.
That's not our fault that the Bills have a bad defense, okay? We'll see, though.
What happened the last time the Bills played the Pats?
21-0 was erased.
What, Nathan? All right, say less. I hope the Niners want... You know what? Let me go with my picks.
Let's hear your picks, Mike.
Yeah, let's hear my picks. So
Who's your Patriots pick?
I got Rams winning outright. Not much to talk about for that game. I actually had the Bears beating the Packers.
Fair enough. It's coin flip.
Yeah, and it's at Soldier Field. The Bears fans are going to be rowdy. It's going to be the first time hosting a playoff game in forever. So you just know it's going to be a cold, windy environment. It's Saturday night in Chicago.
I heard there could be snow for it now. I saw that earlier.
Which would be cool. It'd be cool if Soldier Field got to have a snowy playoff game. Because, I mean, the Chargers-Patriots might, but it's just going to be cold and rainy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be quite, because it's going to be like mid-30s too. So it'd probably be more rain than snow if it does hit.
Philadelphia might be.
Yeah. But I have the Bears winning outright, so I got Rams-Bears. We know my Patriots pick. I actually had the Bills beating the Jags like you as well because it's just Josh Allen. I don't see the Jags being the ones to knock Josh Allen out of the playoffs. Then I had Eagles beating Niners just because that Eagles defense works like clockwork. Albeit they will struggle with McCaffrey and all the things that he can do. I see the Niners. Now, if I was a betting man, I would do Niners plus 4.5. So, it's going to be another close game. I don't think Philly's going to cover. And if you don't want to mess around with the spread, take the under on the 44.5.
I like the under in that game.
I could see it being a low-scoring game, as well. And then I actually had Steelers winning outright against the Texans. Just because it's Mike Tomlin in the playoffs. He's going to be working like clockwork like he normally does. Aaron Rodgers finally gets to be back into the playoffs. Going up against the Texans defense that struggles against the pass. They have a hard time against it. And coming from a Patriots fan that watched the Steelers force 5 fumbles on us, that Steelers defense can create turnovers like no other. So I've got Steelers, Eagles, Bills, Patriots, Bears, Rams for my six.
We agree on everything but the Chargers, Pats, and Bears, Packers.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just a slight opposite of you guys. I'll start where we're similar. I didn't want to bet against Josh Allen either, so I'm taking the Bills over the Jags. Michael, we're on the same side here. I like the Bears over the Packers. I just think that Caleb Williams might be a little bit better than Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
And that Packers defense, I feel like they're just not playing at the level that everyone expected them to. Yep. So I just think that, Ben Johnson has something he's cooking up, especially after losing to the Lions late in the season. So he's probably not very happy about that. But here's where it starts to get just a little bit different. I have the Texans beating the Steelers on Monday Night Football. I just think that D'Amico Ryans is a great coach. He's going to be able to suffocate Aaron Rodgers and, maybe even confuse him, even though Rodgers is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. Give me the Texans there. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game just because they both have solid defenses. But I think the Panthers are going to pull the upset off against the Rams. Wow. The reason for that is because anybody can beat anybody in the playoffs. So the reason why it's just really hard to think and explain. Sorry about that. But with that, I just really like the upset odds. It's going to be close. Sean McVay is going to be fighting for his life, and I think Rico Dowdell is not going to be going down without a fight. Bryce Young, he's looked a lot better than he has so far throughout his career. But I like the Chargers to beat the Patriots. just because I'm a fan of Herbert. I can't stand to see Michael and his team go on a deep playoff run, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think the world's ready for it. And I think
You
that
guys
Drake
had
May
5
needs
years
one
and
more
you're
year.
scared. You're
I mean, we
scared that
lost
the
to Patrick
Patriots might be
Mahomes
back.
twice. I'm not scared of you guys. Trust me. Give us a fully healthy team, and I'd love to do an exhibition game if they
Who
did that.
always took Pat Mahomes out of the playoffs? When Brady was playing.
You guys did once. You guys played
took him
once.
out one time.
Well,
We
the second
twice.
And then
time
Brady
he was,
beat him in
second time he was
Tampa.
in Tampa, so I guess that counts too. I was only thinking of his Patriots. He beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl also.
Yeah, but Michael, nope.
Besides
different.
the point. Besides the point.
I'd love to see Drake May.
Keep the New
Drake
England
May make
hate.
it that far.
Keep
Drake
the
May
New
has to
England
make it
hate.
to a Super Bowl before you can start to
Say less.
put a little bit more respect.
Say less.
So give me the Chargers over the Pats. I think it's going to be a low score. Not super low scoring, but 28-23. Give me the Chargers winning. But with that, let's round it out with the best game of the weekend, Niners-Eagles. We've got a little bit of a heated rivalry with them over the past couple years in the playoffs. You know, they beat us and hurt Brock Purdy in the process of it and kind of shoved our face in it. Then we came back the following. You know, actually, they went on to win a Super Bowl that year. But after that, it was just kind of, I don't like the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles at all.
They're the defending champs.
They are, and I think that we have a shot to take them down. You know, we might be hobbled to do so, with the defense playing. You know, Tatum Bethune's out for the season. That's our second string line. We don't have a healthy linebacker on our roster right now, so we went out and signed somebody last night.
The offensive lineman too this week.
Yep. So I know how it's been a very rough season in terms of injuries, but if we can possibly make the divisional or the NFC title game, Fred Warner might come back, and that would change a lot. So hopefully that we can go into the bank and secure a win for the playoff run. The offense just has to be able to get the ball moving. I don't know if we need to throw in Jake Tonches as well as Kittle, and 2 tight end sets and just kind of keep them off guessing on who's going to get the ball between passing or giving the ball to CMC or Brian Robinson Jr. I think he doesn't like the Eagles either. He's got beef with them. And if Trent Williams plays, I think that we've got a very solid shot to win this football game. So give me the Niners to win 32-24 in Philadelphia. But with that kind of rounds out the NFL playoffs.
Yep. I'm excited. I can't remember the last time our 3 teams all made it the same year. Mainly it's my team holding us back on that. But yeah, it's exciting.
Last couple of years it's been the Pats.
That is true.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since the Patriots have been in the playoffs.
The Niners they had a stretch where we didn't make the playoffs very often either. You know? It was kind of
You guys seemed like you either go far or get relieved.
I'm not used to this.
Not used to the playoff pressure.
Well, even like 2015.
I'm not used to not being in the playoffs.
You should have been after your
Usually
time since
Patriots fans used to
2021.
be the ones that say the season.
Now I am. But 2021, when that drought started, I wasn't used to it.
Well, you guys are just a team full of thugs who like to break the law.
Yeah, isn't it Diggs and Barrymore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is Barmore going to be able to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the NFL won't do anything until the court dates, which I know Diggs is like in March, so he's going to be fine for the whole postseason run.
I don't know about Barmore.
He could start next season suspended a couple of games.
See, I'd rather have class act people on my team fighting for wins rather than fighting their significant others or their chef. But with that, did you guys?
I'm nervous. I will say that.
It's gonna be a very good weekend of football.
It's gonna be a fun weekend of football.
I'm excited. But with that, did you guys have anything else you want to say? No?
Got it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Feel free to like, comment, and share this video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet. But also, if you have any questions or playoff predictions, feel free to leave a comment. We'll address it in next week's episode. But I'm Nathan, and
I'm Chase.
And I'm Michael, and thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more.
Peace.
see ya.